Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to your Sunday Tonic conversation with the Love Crusader. It's going to be another wonderful edition today. We are coming to you live from the United Kingdom and Canada. I've never said that before. I'm saying it today. This is your Sunday Spice. If you're just coming across this platform for the first time, it is a platform where we talk about love, we talk about life, and we talk about relationships, however, in a fun way. Um, we try to make sense of some of the issues around these topics that I have mentioned, and we have fun while doing it. So you can connect with us on YouTube at Men Fences TV, on Facebook at Men Fences, and you can connect with me on my professional platform on LinkedIn, professional profile on LinkedIn, Oko Joseph Obayeje Comfort. And today is our Question Sunday. So every last Sunday of the month, we strive to answer some of the questions that have come in the course of the month, especially as they relate to the topic that we have treated, within the month, or any other topic. Actually, we are open to any other topic. So today we actually received some questions, but I have decided that two of them may be more pressing. And yes, we will, by the grace of God, answer them today. Please share, invite your friends, share. You could be helping someone. I always say that. The information that is shared here could be helpful to someone. All right. Quick introductions. As you all know, I have my able lieutenants with me, my very reliable lieutenants. Ladies first. Titi Layo, true love expression is here. We're going to bring a drum next time. Thank you again for being here. Thank you. I don't take you for granted. Thank you for your time. And my handsome FBI, one of the most handsome men on earth. All right, let's end it there. Emmanuel, Dr. Emmanuel is We are turning out on this page wisdom that you would pay lots of dollars and lots of pounds and lots of naira to be able to get. So the best you can do is take advantage of this wisdom that God has given to us. And we promise that we'll always do our best to make it an exciting show for you. So let's jump into the question, because time is not always our friend when we are on the show. We have, like I said, two questions we're going to be dealing with, and we're back to dealing with questions about women. Women are sending questions. Women are the ones who are always talking, hey? All right, here's our first question. We'll read it together. Um, so by the way, this month we talked about love, jealousy, and technology as our last topic. So we talked about love and how it works with jealousy and also technology. So this question says, um, my husband, my husband spends so much time on his phone. We are not poor or rich, just average. And I feel like there are other things he can be doing with his days off. Okay, so this is usually his days when he's off. So the man has a job. It's not like he doesn't have a job. Rather than sit on his phone, I have discussed this with him, but he says it's his way of relaxing. He even watches online videos while driving. Oh, wow. I think he's addicted. What can I do to make him understand this addiction? ló bá tán. Thank God the two people that are here today are a bit scientific and medically related. So maybe people can explain whether this is really an addiction or it's not an addiction. Is she taking it too far? Is it just in her mind? Or if it's really an addiction or a problem, what can she do to help him?
Wow.
Ladies first.
After the men. uh,
People should not be bouncing me left, right, center. People should talk.
So,
um,
TT, please go ahead.
okay. What was just ringing in my head when you were saying that is she taking it too far? I'm like, how can she be taking it too far? Her life is in danger here. If he's watching, well, I was just trying to read the question. If he's watching um
Videos.
videos online while he even watches online videos while driving, then there's fire on the mountain. You know, obviously this is a serious issue. You know, just like I said, it's something that would there's some things that you say, okay, just leave him, allow him to, but now it's beginning to, it might affect her, you know. So um how do you deal with something like this? Initially when I saw the question, I'm like, okay, there are other things she feels he might be doing with his days off. I'm like, okay, is his days off, so he can afford to, probably he feels he has worked hard and he deserves to relax, you know. So there's really nothing much you can do about that aside
Mm,
from talking to him, which she may have done, letting him know that, see, or showing him something else you feel um, he can do. And after you've done that, I mean, you can't really control anybody. You know, there's a limit to the best we can do is to point out these things to another person. You know, even the issue of him watching online videos while driving, which is, I think, the most dangerous. You know, I don't know. It's just sad because why would you be doing that, really? How do you do that? How do you watch online videos while driving? How does that work? I'm sure if the man was here, he wouldn't put it in this particular way, you know, because I'm just trying to understand, how do you watch videos while driving?
mm.
How does that,
How does that
uh,
even make a responsible sense for somebody? I mean,
yeah,
she
how
said
does that function
I didn't say that
practically?
here, but she said they have two kids. They've been married for a while, so it's not a new marriage. So I'm trying to get a sense of what kind of irresponsible act or attitude would you call that? I don't know them much, so I couldn't dig into much into the family life, but I'm very sure that a man that can do that endanger, even if he's the only one in the car, that's endangerment to himself. If you can actually do it at that level, then I'm looking I'm how will I call it? I'm trying to gauge his thinking, his sense of responsibility. There may be other things that he's also making wrong decisions about that will be affecting him. Okay, Ima is here, Ima has to speak for the men. Before we start the roast of men, brother Ima, help us.
You've already put me in a corner where if I now start responding, you say, well, we already said it that he's going to jump in the defense
No,
of
no, no, I'm
men.
not putting the
No,
corner.
So
we need you to actually jump in the
Help
defense
us.
because
We
we're
need
trying
the
to
help.
reason it here. So,
okay, so I think there are several components to the question that let's see if I will try to break it down. So the first part of the question, there's a reason why the woman is mentioning we are not poor and we are not rich, we are just average. It will sound to me as though she's dealing with personal lack of satisfaction with where they are financially. Right? That's already based on picking those three things, and her description of their situation sounds to me she's not happy or dissatisfied or feels they can be doing more financially. Now, it also sounds to me as though she places the onus or the responsibility for that financial achievement on her husband, and she feels he should be doing more, not necessarily she should be doing more. Maybe in her estimation she has done enough, or she's doing enough, so he needs to do more. Okay. And I think to deal with that, first of all, there is a problem with expectation and achievement. And that creates a disgruntled woman already. So she needs to, first of all, stop and review why she feels that way about their finances. Why is she not feeling contented? That's you need to access that. And then she also needs to evaluate what she can do in addition to what where they are at, to give
Mm.
her the necessary feeling of contentment, or of satisfaction, or achievement. Right. So let's deal with that part of it first, because we all individuals, yeah, we're married, but at the end of the day, your spouse will only do as much as they can do. Now, if you keep pushing for your spouse to do more than what they can do, oftentimes you're going to create tension in your marriage. And I don't think that is the goal. So she needs to deal with that feeling of money. Now, on top of that, she needs to understand her husband. It will seem to me, regardless of whether they have 2 kids or 10 kids, or they've been married for whatever number of years, it seems to me as though she's not paying attention to the kind of man she married. And if the kind of man she has married is a man that is very happy with being able to work, support his family, and use his off days to do whatever he feels like, that's the kind of person he is. Now, if you want to start struggling and fighting with that kind of person and say you must be this other kind of person, again, you're setting yourself up for tension within your marriage, because it's very likely that the man will push back and tell you you're trying to control him, you're trying to tell him what he will do, you're trying to tell him what he cannot do. It's his off day, he will do it. And then you, on the other hand, will be feeling like you're not ambitious enough, you're not pushing enough. You can be doing this, Mr. A is doing that, and this person is doing this, and that person is doing that. So you see all that potential tension with just not understanding the kind of person that she's married to. If this is really how he is, and he has not given you any feeling of, oh, I actually want to do more, or I feel like I can be doing this with my off day, so that you can actually pick on that and say, okay, based on what you've said, can we do this? But if the person has just told you, this is, I'm okay, I'm very, very happy, this is my off day, haha, I just want to do this and relax, then she needs to try to understand and accept her husband for who he is. At the same time, find way that she can make something happen if there's something she wants to happen. The other part of the question that I also want to address is what he is doing during his off day. Because I've come to realize that's actually a big deal within marriage. Where, for example, my husband likes to go fishing. I think lazy men are the ones that go fishing. What are you just doing, sitting on top of the water and waiting to catch one fish? Some people see it as the most ridiculous thing any man can do, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, some other people actually see it as, wow, that's very relaxing. It's in a peaceful, serene, it's calm and quiet. So if she has an issue with what he is doing with his off day, man, that one can, they just need to talk about it. And she actually needs to understand, if he's actually communicating and saying, I am relaxing, I consider being on my phone relaxing, she needs to take a step back and listen and appreciate what he's trying to communicate. This is how I chill. Everybody do things differently, and understanding and accepting him, the way he handles his own off day, is very important. Now, if there are things they need to do in the home with off day, it's a totally different ball game. But if it's just a case of this is how you choose to relax, but I don't think you should be relaxing like this. I think you should be relaxing by being on, one of all these stock exchange, doing forex. That's how I think you should be relaxing. Auntie, you're setting yourself up for trouble
Okay,
in the
Amy,
home.
wait. I have a question there. I have a question there. And all you are saying is true. Titi, you are muted. All you're saying, I agree with. But I have a question there. If a man, yes, he's hardworking, he goes to work. I mean, for example, I want to give the UK life that we're living here. You're on the clock. You're always working. We're always working. You're going out. You're coming back. For a man that has a family, you have children. Shouldn't you plan your off, for example, around family time? It might not be always, and this is not the conversation of me and this woman. Oh, I'm just giving her an example. For me as a person, I would be upset if I had a husband who is busy, hard working, and then when he now gets his off days, instead of, you know, planning maybe family time or family fun time or time to spend with children, you now tell me that you need to relax and you are then on your phone all day. So it means that when you're outside the house, you're at work. Then when you are inside the house, you are still not inside the house, because that phone is a life. People live inside. From the way the woman is describing it, there's like an addiction. So this man is not in the house 247. Look, sometimes, you know, when people come and tell you something, you read the undertone that is under it. It might not just even just be that this phone is the problem. It is the lack of attention for this
Mhm.
woman and the family. I'm telling you.
And
That
that's
way,
usually the problem. That's the problem in this case. She
thank you.
feels that that's why she stated it, that they are not rich and they are not poor. Because she feels that the guy can do more. She feels that he is living below his potential right now. With this space that he can do more to provide for the family. That whatever he's doing now is not sufficient. He can add more. And most times, women like that, they are already giving off of themselves. They are doing everything they can to make sure that um, the family is put in a better financial position. The problem usually in situations like this is that both of them are usually not on the same page. Just like Emmanuel was saying, the guy is contented. They said I should provide for my family. I'm providing for you guys. I've done my job. Now I can relax a bit. Can't a man relax? So they are not on the same page financially or in terms of goals. That's usually the problem here. And to get that kind of person to be on the same page with you, you have to show them. You can't force this person or drag this person. You have to be accepting of the kind of person he is while you walk towards your own goals. You're talking about so saying you're not rich, you have to, I don't know, that's the way I see it. Oh, you have to start um reaching setting your own goals and reaching for your own goals by yourself while you are waiting for him. Or I'm afraid to say the word wait, because it's like, okay, when are you going to change, when are you going to change? you know but you need to start living out your own goals, setting that financial target and meeting it for yourself. It's hard because there's two of you, and you have to be going together. It's frustrating because you want to go further, the other person is not willing. But at some point, the way I see it is, for how long will you life is short. So for how long will you continue to drag this person, and it hinders you from living your own dream? So you understand the kind of person you're dealing with, which he probably has always been like that anyway. Start focusing on yourself, focus on your financial goals, and start figuring out how you can reach your own financial goals by yourself, or your dream by yourself. And everything is interconnected. If you're able to reach your own financial, you get another car and say, I need you to deal with this online thing, watching a video while you are driving. I'll be driving myself for now because I don't feel safe. These people can only change if they want to, by actions, by results, you know.
So
So
she can also take herself out, take the children out, don't care whether he's there or not.
it's
In
not
that
like you don't care. It's sometimes, yeah, it's not like you don't care, because sometimes when we attach so much, I won't say important, when we attach so much emotion to things like this, it gets us worked up. You now start reading meanings that are not there, that may not be there into things. So my point is, focus on your own self, as in let him be. Basically, let him be. Because people like this, they tell you, so you don't want me to have my relaxing day, right? Okay, I know what to do. I will not be leaving the house for you.
hmm,
You push them to make funny decisions, Ideally, it shouldn't be that way. Ideally. But because we understand the kind of person that we are dealing with here, his level of understanding of family is still low. That's what it shows here, if this is
Hmm.
what he's doing. So until it comes to that level of understanding, you have to start fashioning out how to
What
take a
if
bus
he never
if you feel, because it is a dangerous situation here. If he's actually, I don't know how he does it, but if he's actually watching something on watching video while driving, be entering bus, oh auntie. If you have children, buy your own car and say, I don't feel safe, or sort this. That is it. Life is short, or you have to whether he's behaving or he's misbehaving, you have to find a way to enjoy your life, pending when he comes to that level of awareness or understanding. You can't keep sulking around and saying, this man, he's not doing this, he's not doing more, he can do more. Do more for yourself and for your family, and keep it going.
Yeah, and if I may also jump in, I didn't get through all the different aspects that I have analyzed in my mind about her question. But absolutely, the one of watching videos while driving, there's a difference between watching videos and listening to videos. All right, so
Mm.
it's
That's why I
important.
said, if it's the man, if you ask the man
Yeah,
now, he won't say it the way she's saying it like this. So he won't say it.
I say that because sometimes I am listening to a podcast and it's a video podcast, YouTube, and they're talking. I'm not watching it, I'm driving and I'm listening to them. Some of us listen to sermons. You're listening to someone on YouTube. You're not necessarily watching the pastor preach while you're driving, right? But it's a video, and somebody may categorize the situation as, oh, yeah, you're watching a video while you're driving. It's not necessarily the same. Now, I don't know the full details of
Okay, let me
exactly the
let me paint
extent.
you one of the pictures. She said that at one instance they were in the car and even with the children. So when they stop at the traffic light, he brings out his phone and then he's watching to the point that light has turned green. He doesn't even know. Then she says, light has turned green. He keeps the phone, he continues driving, and then at the next stop again, he picks his phone. So it's like he can't drop the phone. That's her problem. He can't drop the phone. Say this is an addiction. It's not
Hmm.
just the type you are listening to podcast on your radio. You have your
No.
earpiece on and you are just listening to music. Or I mean, me, I always drive full blast on music. That's not what we're talking about here. He's talking about that the man gets distracted watching, so he puts his phone in his face and is watching videos.
I
Mm-hmm.
won't categorize what we have described as an addiction. It's probably just a habit. And it's a habit that perhaps stem from a place of what somebody really likes doing. And honestly, we're all wired differently. I think instead of being very frustrated with her spouse, she can, if she has had a conversation about the matter of safety, okay, let's be a bit more focused when driving. That's a safety issue. Totally understandable, right? If it's not just a case of you're listening to stuff, you're actually trying to watch and drive. That's a no anywhere. However, all the other issues to me, if I'm just an onlooker, it will seem a little bit, somebody's being a bit too, I don't want to use the word controlling, or too
Demanding?
having,
Is the woman
yeah,
being
being
demanding?
nagging, being too, just take it
But
easy,
but
take a step
Emmy,
back.
Emmy, I hear you and I understand and agree with what you're saying as far. Okay, this woman can make life better for herself. If she feels this guy's not doing enough and she has the opportunity and she has the strength and grace, why not? She can do it, she can be better. But is it really wrong for you to want your spouse to do better? Aren't we all in this marriage to be better? If, for example, I mean, in this country where we are, a lot of people do two, three, four jobs.
Okay,
If this man maybe has the opportunity of enough free time that he can, I'm trying to enter into the woman's head. I'm not, she didn't tell me all this, but
absolutely.
if the woman maybe has enough free time from his current job that he can now still use maybe to do another job and still bring money in, is it wrong of this woman to say, why don't you make better use of this time?
Well, it's not wrong to suggest. I think it is wrong to have it as an expectation.
Okay.
Because if I make a suggestion, it's your time, right? You've done your regular, say your regular hours. This is now your off day. You have the right to decide what you want to do with it. Now, somebody would say, well, put the family first, plan things around the family, attention, all that good stuff. That's good and fine. Again, it's a suggestion of, well, you can be doing this is different from you should be doing this. There are two different approach to the situation, and the situation sounds to me as though it's at the point of you should be doing this. And once you start having that feeling of you should be doing this, you're already giving the vibe to somebody that they are not enough. You're not doing enough. And a lot of the time it creates a lot of emotional unnecessary, in my book, unnecessary tension within the home. Take a step back. First of all, be grateful for where you are at. Be creative about where you want the family to go, or what you guys see, like Titi said, the goals you want to achieve. I don't think in this day and age there is a barrier stopping any woman from doing whatever it is they want to do, from a work standpoint or business standpoint or even financial standpoint. So if there are things you would like to do that would then bring in that finance that would make you feel happy, awesome. But we cannot expect you to be happy at the expense of someone else. Now, if your spouse, for example, is feeling like, oh, if I have to do this with my off days and do all these things you're saying, I'm going to be unhappy. So it's now a case of the person should push themselves and be unhappy and frustrated within the marriage, trying to make you happy or please you. So there needs to be a good balance, right? We are there. You're a blessing to your spouse. You're there to make suggestion. You're there to be, that push, that uplift, a force of upliftment for your spouse. But you're not there to sit on the person's head and say, you must do this, you must do that, or else we are not going to have peace. And I'll just keep nagging you till why would somebody, let me ask this question, and again it may sound a bit like the person asked the question, but I'm not on the person's side, I'm not taking sides, okay? So but why would you be married and prefer being on your phone than having a conversation with your wife, for example? If you ask a lot of men, why would they prefer that? A lot of the time in those situations, they know by default that have engaging in conversation with their spouse is going to automatically lead to argument, or something is going to start. So guess what? Somebody looks for, they're always wanting to be distracted so that it looks like I'm busy. Can't you see I'm busy? Instead of just engaging, but these are realities. So if that is a scenario where this person feels nagged to the point where he or she can be husband or wife have to always be busy with something as a way of avoiding you, that's also a problem. So it's important to take that step back, give the person the freedom to be themselves, while you keep serving as a voice of encouragement, not a voice of condemnation. And with time you will see people rise up to encouragement, but people shrink away from condemnation. Okay, I think I've said a lot.
Oh wow. So Emmanuel just hit something that is tickling me because I don't know. Maybe I need to go check myself. Some of us who are very, very busy and extra busy, are we just throwing ourselves into work as a way to hide or run from something? Oh, you're doing all like
I don't know. Well, everybody look at yourself in the mirror.
I never thought of that. I never thought of that when this question came up. But yeah, it could be that, this guy is just using that as an escape route just to avoid um that confrontation or that conversation. So yeah, okay. Anyways, and I think to an extent, Shao, having a man sitting at home watching videos on his phone might still be better than the one that is outside and you don't know what he's doing or where he's going. I mean, we should choose the lesser of the evils,
Mm-mm.
because
Mama, you're missing the point.
let me finish. I have been told that a man must have an addiction. A man is here. People should tell me that something, men are always having one thing that they are addicted to. So you cannot just have a man that don't have any addiction at all. Abi? So instead of him to be outside, maybe in the beer parlor getting drunk and maybe carrying women and all that, he's in the house at least. You are seeing him in the house. Shouldn't she be okay? This question is taking our time. Final comments. So we can move
It's
to the
not
next
it's not
question.
it's not it's not that a man must have addiction, but most men tend to have something they are passionate about. Now, if
One thing.
in her case, if the husband were passionate about work, is gone. He's working weekends. He's traveling. He's away. She probably won't be bothered. Maybe she's the kind of woman that doesn't mind. She'll just hold the family fort, and the husband can work 365 days, and she'll be happy. And that may happen for some men that are really passionate about work. They don't even realize that that is the definition of their life. So, and then there are those that are passionate about soccer. There are those that are passionate
Football.
about cricket. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there are those that are passionate
Video
about
games.
church, video games, church.
Yeah,
It can
church.
be anything.
Correct.
So people do have things they are passionate about.
Hmm.
Yes,
Okay.
Sister
Oh.
Titi.
Titi, you got any more thing to say on that question before we move on?
Yeah, yeah. I'm saying that this woman is frustrated. She's frustrated. And I wanted to say that because we're talking about expectation earlier, I don't think it's wrong for a spouse to have expectation of their spouse. You know, a married person have expectation of their spouse. In this woman's mind, we are a team. So whatever anybody can bring in, she's probably a driven woman. So whatever anybody can bring in into the team to make us move forward is welcome. It's like there's no it's not even something that needs to be talked about. You should know that that's where her mind. You should know that you put in your best, I put in my best, we move forward. So what's this lack of energy that I'm getting from you? So that and I'm sure chances are that she's a woman that is working so hard already, putting in her very best. So she feels like, why is this man not doing the same thing? You know, and there's nothing wrong in having expectations for the family, in having goals. Like I said earlier, they are just not on the same page in terms of goals for the family. And to the man is like, we're okay the way we are. Let's just keep moving like this. We'll be all right. To the woman is like, there's still more to be done. So we need to put in more. So they're not on the same page in regards to that. And there's nothing wrong. The issue is handling that problem of this is what I expect. Again, let this man be. Most time our expectation is that we need this our target. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. But when the other person is not willing yet, let him be and start pursuing your own goals. When you start cracking your head as to how to increase your financial capacity, sometimes you are distracted by that. You don't have enough energy to be focusing on, today, your off day. You play video game for 10 hours. Tomorrow, your off day. And I'm not saying don't care about him. I'm saying focus that energy on some other thing and give him space. That does not mean that you're not concerned, or that does not mean that what he's doing is what he should be doing. But focus that energy. You cannot tie your life to one person. You have to enjoy your life. So, what will make this woman more fulfilled? If she had more financial capacity, she may not be worried about this. So, focus your energy on how to increase your own financial capacity. Let him do whatever it is that he thinks is right for now, and stop nagging him in quote. Or, that's the expectation thing. And yeah, I already said it that she feels that together they can do more. But for now, if she was in his shoes, until she sees it, until she catches that thing he's saying, she won't move, which is what is happening to the man. He doesn't see it yet, doesn't catch it yet, so he won't move. Then we should also understand as Christians the God factor in this thing. I was having this conversation with someone just recently. Most times we take things in isolation, like this issue now is happening alone, or like, this man should be more. Sometimes God allows situations like this to happen. Underline the word allow. I'm not saying that's the right thing. I'm not saying that's the ideal that God wants them to be at. Sometimes God allows situations like this to deal with us ourselves as individuals. Sometimes there are issues that come up that we don't have control over. For this woman, she looks like someone that is driven, someone that wants to be in control of things, as in, this is the way we have set it, this is the way it should be going, let's keep going that way. Sometimes God takes that power away from us so that we can be dependent on Him. And in that process, He deals with an issue, a personal issue with us, you know. So sometimes we need to just focus on ourselves and go back to God and ask God, what is the issue that I need to be dealing with here? Why why am I in this situation now that I do not have control over? What do you want me to pay attention to? So let's understand that God factor, that of the things that God allows sometimes, and let that push us back to God to to be able to deal with the issue God wants us to deal with, so that we can move forward. When God deals with you in that issue, it becomes freeing for you. At the end of the day, you don't even look. It's there, but you don't even look pay attention to it again. You start focusing.
All right, all right. Thank you. I have to try and cut you now so we can. Somebody saying question. No, you didn't see the question. Okay, let me just read the question again. But we are leaving that question for a second one because we've almost finished the time we have, and this one, and then the second question I think is the big elephant in the room. And this one I didn't even expect this much branches and trees around it, but the question here is about phone usage, and the woman feeling the man should do more with his free time rather than spending it on the phone, and thinking, is this an addiction? Because to the point the man is driving and watching videos on his phone, and so she's beginning to feel like, okay, maybe her husband is addicted. So we've said, well, sister, if you need more, you yourself can do more. If you're already doing enough as you feel you can do, find peace in knowing that you are doing enough. And then trust God that this man one day will get to where you are. He doesn't understand what you are understanding. Although my fear here is that time that is lost cannot be gotten back. But let's not go into all that. Anyways, and also, it is not wrong for a man to have a hobby or a what he does to relax. Like Emmy has said, she should be understanding of that this man needs to relax. He's not going to kill himself, work and work and work and work and work. However, he also needs to find a balance, I think, between, for me, I'm thinking family time. If I'm working, I'm working. When I get 1 or 2, 3 days off, I'm thinking my family. That's me. And I think that's how the man should think. For me, that will even be more of a problem to me than saying you should use the time to find more money. I would rather say use the time to know your children. Spend time with the children because you've been working, now you have off. Go out with the children, play games with the children, take the children out, go out with your wife. I'm very sure that man doesn't have time for the wife. This woman is not telling us the cocoa. The truth is that this woman is missing the fact that this man is not spending time with her. Okay, anyways. So that was our first question, and those are some of the points we have tried to bring up to help this person. So we're going to go into our second question now, just because our 1 hour is never enough when we're having fun on this platform. Yeah, here's our second question. So it says, my husband is controlling. He has never hit me in our 8 years of marriage, but I live in fear. That's very concerning. He is extra jealous and dictates what I wear, who I can relate with. He times me. Oh, okay. So is she timed when I go out? Okay, gives her time to return when she goes out, takes her salary, and gives her what he feels she needs. He is choking me. That's the word she's using. So I'm getting scared there when I'm hearing fear, choking. He's choking me. I want to leave, but my parent and pastor, oh, I brought pastor again, says it is only in adultery or physical abuse that I can leave. Please advise me.
Hmm.
Wow.
So you
This
see,
is
this is a big elephant.
hmm.
Okay, so this is first of all, I if the person is watching, I'm really sorry that you're having to go through all the things you've listed here. Um, my understanding of God and marriage, this is not an ideal or a loving scenario that you've described if these things are as you've stated them. And I really empathize. I really, really feel. I feel what you're dealing with. And in addition, it would seem as though your support system around you is in a way aiding the situation. So I am sorry first. Second, as a matter of providing maybe the last straw of hope for your marital relationship, I would definitely and highly recommend you seek professional counseling. Your spouse is going to need all the professional counseling, and you would also need a lot of healing. So whatever we answer on this platform, I don't think it's just going to be enough to satisfy the amount of damage and the amount of healing that would, and restoration that would need to be done if you're still going to enjoy that marriage going forward.
Hmm.
So that's really the first thing I just wanted to put out there, and then I'll make other comments later.
Sister Titi.
Hmm. It's just a sad story, really.
Yeah,
It's so sad.
yeah. I almost
And some
cried.
of
This is
ah,
a summary. I almost cried when I heard the whole story.
because some of the things that is making it even sad for me is when I see living in fear,
Exactly.
you know, dictating to you stuff, taking your salary. I don't understand
It's financial
how.
abuse. It's financial abuse.
It is sad, and this has been happening 8 years. It's even sadder. Time lost. Anyways, um, because she's living in fear, is something that should concern the parent and the pastor. So I don't understand why this stay there is an issue. So she said he has not hit her, he has never hit her. And the reason why he has not hit her is because she's been living on eggshells.
Yeah.
She has been very careful.
Yes.
That
Without her
tendency
saying
is
it.
there. I'm not even sure if he has actually not hit her, because to this woman, what is heat? What hitting means has been colored. So
Mm.
something in and around hitting has happened, you know. But the reason why the actual hitting, because maybe it's the beating she's waiting for, has not happened is because she's been living in eggshells. She's been very careful. The day she missteps, that hitting is coming, you know, that hitting is coming. The fact that she's living in fear suggests to me that she can no longer continue to stay in that environment. She needs to step out of that. Then, talking about the parent and the pastor, at the end of the day, you are the one in this marriage. It's just like a wedding. Everybody comes to celebrate with you, people dance, happy and everything. At the end of the day, you are with your spouse. Everybody goes back to their house.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, the decision lies with you. You don't need to wait for, yeah, I understand these people are supposed to be your support system. You don't need to wait for any support system to make a right decision. And the right decision for you to make right now is to step out of this situation, then seek help. Why? Because you are living in fear already. Even God Himself does not expect us to live in that kind of fear in the relationship. Marriage relationship should mirror the relationship we have with God the Father. you know and in that relationship, God does not force us. He does not coerce us. He does not control us. So when it gets to the level of controlling, living in fear, you know and this kind of control, you need to step out of that marriage relationship
Wow.
first, then seek help if the guy is willing to get help in any way. Taking your salary, are you serious? How does he even get a hold of your salary? I don't understand it. Can't you change your account? And
This
in my
is
mind, the way I think about these things like this, hello, just disappear.
Elope.
I know someone. I know
Elope.
someone that did. Let me share this story. I know someone that did this. Although
Eh.
they didn't have kids, but the guy had the issue we had with the first question. He was just there, laid back. He wasn't even working. She was doing all the work and everything. And after, I know this idea of you need to protect your marriage, let it work. And she tried it for a couple of years. As in, let's see how this thing will work. Let him keep. And the guy didn't step up. After a while, she just gave the guy an ultimatum and say, if by so and so time you don't do these things, I'm off. And guess what? She went off and she didn't tell the guy. She didn't tell the guy. She just went up and left and didn't tell the guy. And the guy, and people like this, they think that you can leave. So when she left, the guy was shocked, went back to her family to ask, but she had told some members of her family that this is what I'm going to do. I can't take this anymore. Went back to her family to ask, I've not seen your daughter. The family was like, what do you mean that you've not seen our daughter? We gave our daughter to you, and now you're coming back to tell us that you can't find our daughter. Please produce our daughter for us. Meanwhile, those people knew what has happened,
Mhm.
right? So when it comes to these issues of living in fear, control, please step outside first, then seek help. Seek help. At the end of the day, the decision lies with you, not with your parents, not with your pastor, because you are the one living this nightmare.
Okay, wait, before Emmanuel continues, someone is saying that I have the whole story. I should give it might be necessary to give some background for a more robust advice. Well, I don't know what else in the entire story that I can add. I'm just trying to be a bit protective of I won't say the person per se, but just okay, let me just say it out there. I mean, she's a pastor's wife. um and she's been suffering this, in silence. She's come to sit in front of the church by the man, and she's going through all this in the marriage. The man goes even as far as to her office, collects her pay slip. She said one time she was like, "Where's my money? I can't find my
Oh
money.
God.
Is it that this one not paying me?" And then she went to the office to ask for her pay slip. She got there and the man signed. The man had already signed. Say somebody collected your pay slip, and it was the husband's signature. You know,
How does he have access to your account,
there's
for God's
also
sake?
there's
How?
also a bit of rape, um because she told me that severally she's mentioned I'm not in the mood, but he still kind of forces himself
Mama,
on
this is
her.
too much. This is too much, I
So,
beg.
but the church is saying, and this is why I didn't want to go too much into the details, because I don't want this to be the roast of church and religion. I know for many people who like to preach against religion, they'll just pick up this story and say, "Oh, the truth is that a lot of churches are not equipped to counsel families. They are not, and the mentality and culture around a place is allowed to play into religion. If not, why would you as a pastor tell a woman who tells you, I'm living in fear, I'm afraid because the way this man is behaving around me, why will you tell her that it's only adultery? And I don't want to be, for me, okay, I already answered this question. No, I'm just bringing it to you people so that we know. Oh, Jesus of Nazareth. I have told her I'm willing to help her. I'm willing to help her to stay away from that man as much as is possible. Whatever help or assistance she needs, because yes, I agree. And thank God, Barrister Yomi is a Lego person. She's posted it here. She needs professional counseling, but then she needs to distance herself from that fearful environment to be helped. Because you cannot continue to sit down there and be getting professional counseling and be going through this in the hands of a man. Domestic abuse is not only physical abuse. Financial abuse is part of it. Gaslighting someone is part of it. He goes to tell stories. Hey, don't mind her. She's this, she's that. She said even people in church, she passes, they eye her. They'll be eyeing her. Other people in church will be eyeing her. She's not a submissive wife. She's not a good, virtuous woman because she's complained about the way this man treats her. She's not submissive. So he's spoiling her name. There's a whole lot of stories. How many will I tell you now about this whole picture? But I've told her and I've encouraged her. If you don't have your parents' support, you don't have your pastor's support, you have my support. Whatever it is I can do, if you want me to signpost you, you need to go somewhere, you need to talk to someone. Because I know that if she goes even before a professional therapist and mention I am living in fear, there is no psychologist, there's no therapist anywhere in the world that will ask her to continue to remain there. And this is not just about divorce. This is what we're explaining to people. It doesn't have to be, oh, divorce this man. No. But the truth is, he's not well. This man is not well. And now he's damaging someone else. Both of you need to find healing. But you cannot find the healing while you're still sitting down inside the damage. Okay, now I'm being very passionate about this. People should go on. That's why I didn't want to talk before,
It's,
because I
it's just us. Me, this thing
feel
is
very
this
personal.
situation is so personal for me. It gets me
I'm
upset.
taking
It
it
gets me
personal.
upset. How does he have access to your salary? This woman needs to be reoriented about what marriage is and what life should be. How does a
Okay,
man?
let's
I
let's
don't
align
understand
let's
this.
let's allow Emmanuel talk. Say not like women. We are not roasting this man. We are just upset. Women,
There
once
is,
we
there
hear,
is, there is, there is nothing to. This is not a case of roasting, Mama. See, there is no person that is just a rational, logical person that would read what this person is going through and say, "Oh, yeah, it's okay." Except somebody that is coming from. I don't even. I cannot even. I'm sorry. I guess I'm quiet because I'm finding it
and let me
difficult.
shock you. This is not happening in Africa. It is happening in the United States of America. It's not happening in Africa. So this is not,
Yeah,
oh, African men or
no,
African
no, it's
culture.
not. And
Yes.
it's not even African. Anybody that think it's not African culture for a man to treat the wife like this. I'm sorry, I'm an African. So that's not true. It's a wrong mindset people typically have. African men. No, 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 no. That this is abuse on so many levels, right? And it's not. I know the onus is on the woman to make a decision. Oftentimes, the victim tend to feel paralyzed to make a decision, which is why I started with empathy and then next thing saying seek professional help, because most likely the professional counselor will not only just tell you, okay, you need to be separated from this, they will go on to give you, practical steps, maybe people to call, what to do that would be able to help you actually separate yourself from that situation. You
Mm-hmm.
may not be able to even have a proper rational mind to make good decision while you are in that situation. So
Mm.
this is one where, and the truth of the matter is, it's like you're on the edge. It's only going to be one mistake that would happen for somebody's life to be at risk in this kind of situation that has been described. So yes, this is one where there's a time to embrace, there's a time to refrain from embracing.
Oh,
So
God
let's
bless you.
let's
I like
let's
that scripture.
refrain. Let's refrain from embracing for a season.
Mm-hmm.
Let us go through the necessary therapy. And if the man or the abuser is, because this can be, so other people might be having similar experiences, whether male or female. If the
Yes.
abuser haven't gone through those therapy and trying to find healing, is unwilling to make the necessary steps to change, then you have to consider taking legal action for a more permanent decision. But as of now, first step first is separate yourself from the situation. And it sounds to me from the question that the woman is educated, she's working, she's competent.
Yeah.
We're not dealing with somebody that doesn't have a know-how. So you just need to excuse yourself from the situation for a time being. Give yourself some room to breathe first, right? Then seek professional help. And once you've engaged a professional counselor, see how that goes. If it is not going right, you then now have a decision to make. But but for anyone that's living in a situation where your spouse is, again, I would recommend she should sue her company. There's no reason why I should be working for you and someone else comes to sign off my salary. Although I don't know what arrangement they have, but that calls for somebody be suing them. You should sue. What kind of company is that? Why would they do that? If I work for you without giving you the express authorization to do so, you cannot give my
She
my
has given
compensation
them
to someone else.
authorization,
Yes,
Nick. That
exactly.
is how
So
she
she's
is.
probably giving them the authorization, or else that won't be happening. No company in their right state of mind would do that. But if it's to that level of, I know, take a break. And
Yes.
I don't know what
The
else to
first
say. I'm
time,
really
the
very
first time, the
sorry
first time
about
I
that.
met
It's
the
really sad.
lady, the first time I met this lady, I thought to myself, what is wrong with her? Because with her level of education and exposure, what I the kind of person I expected her to, like the way she was carrying herself, you could see some form of timidity around her, and obviously her sense of self-worth has been damaged and affected, you know, until she opened up to me and started telling me these stories. And I understood, okay, now I understand why this woman, she's not a confident person when you come near her. And I'm telling you, please, please, if you're watching this live, or you're going to watch this later, male or female. Don't die in silence. We've tried on this platform to always say domestic abuse is not until someone slaps you. Domestic abuse is not until someone hits you. Don't even wait for the slap. When you begin to see signs of over control, we're not saying, like, I love you, I like you to dress in so way to please me, like some of us have very outspoken spouses. My own husband know how to tell me the kind of hair he likes me to wear. I like this kind of dress on you. I like this kind of makeup on you. That is not that's bad. That's not bad. That is your spouse telling you what they like. It's not, you must now wear this type of clothes. You can't go out at this time. And if you go out, you have to come back at so and so time. Even if it's your child, nítorí Ọlọ́run, this is a full-grown adult. You collect their money just to make sure she doesn't have financial independence, because when she has the money, she will leave you. She will definitely leave you. So, and that is the reason for collecting that money from her. So she will not be able to use the money to find help. Please speak to us. There is a phone number, a WhatsApp number on our Facebook page. Please and please, I think I should have even scrolled that number today. Send us a message if you don't know where to go. We will signpost you. We'll tell you where to go, who to go and meet, and who to talk to. Please seek help. Don't die in silence. It starts small. The people that they killed, they did not kill them one day. They started from small, and think about it, the emotional and psychological and effect on your mental health. It's not until somebody dies physically. You are dying slowly. You are dying gradually. Churches, help us. Churches, pastors, help us. Help us. Please help us. Tell people the truth. If you don't know, say this one is beyond me, I don't know how to cancel this one, refer them. Because as a pastor, you are not a therapist. You're not a therapist. You're not a professional therapist. You may have gone to Bible school. I have gone to Bible school. I have studied Christian counseling. That's why I'm doing the counseling work I am doing today. But it doesn't still take away that there are professional psychotherapists, there are professional psychologists out there. Recommend this person, say go and find help, even if you don't want them to leave the marriage, and let them be helped, instead of telling them. And the worst is parents. I don't know how you can hear your child say, I am living in fear, and it doesn't break your heart. Me, I don't know her. I'm just meeting her for the first time. I cried. As in, tears dropped from my eyes when this lady was telling me her story. And then you as a mother, you as a father, you can tell that girl to go back and sit in the marriage and say until the man cheat on you, or until he do what? He commit adultery, or until he physically beat you, you cannot leave. What kind of mentality is that? What kind of mentality is that? Let's help ourselves. Let's help the public that we are serving as pastors. I'm a Christian. I'm a child. I'm a born again Christian. I will never diss the church. This is not a diss of the church, but please, let's understand our roles. If you cannot help someone, say I cannot help you. Let me look for help for you. Don't tell them they must stay there. They must stay there. Is that how you are running your own house? Is that how you're running your own marriage? Is that God? Even God, like Titi was saying, thank God. God is not saying, God doesn't force us. God doesn't force his will on us. How much more a human being? Why will you ask someone to remain in a place where they force their will on the person? It's psychologically damaging. Marriage is meant to be enjoyed, not endured. It's supposed to be the picture of God's love, God's perfect love on earth. And anything outside that is wrong. Is wrong, brothers and sisters. If you have a problem, please seek help. You can be helped. If you are the abuser, whether you're a woman or you're a man, and you know this thing you're doing is wrong, but you can't help yourself, you can also reach out to us. We know where to signpost you to get help. People will treat you. It's a sickness, it's a disease. You
I
just
was
can't
just
take
going to
care.
say, even the abuser needs to be aware that this is wrong. It's not an expression of love. It's not an expression of love. It's not a way of keeping your home under control. It's not
Exactly.
a sign that you're following any tradition. It is just what is called abuse. You're
Yes.
being an abusive person, and you need to seek help for yourself, and you need to stop. You need to pause and realize you're impacting another person's life. But more than that, you're also damaging your own life. So, and I'm sorry. I guess I'm getting caught up too in the whole emotion of the situation. So,
Yeah, it's an emotional one. That's why I said earlier that that was the big elephant in the room. Well, our time is up. Our 1 hour is up. But please note that outside coming to this platform to preach, to teach, to laugh, to gist, there is the work that Men Fences is doing with those who are facing abuse. And we are here to help you. By the grace of God, I have friends, I have connections, I have resources, I have places I can signpost you to. I have people you can talk to that can help you. You don't have to die in silence, and you are not alone. You don't have to remain in that unhappy state. Something can happen to make you happy and to make you enjoy the marriage, to have that dream. Because when we all go into the marriage, yeah, I love you, there's this dream of the beautiful, sweet home that we want. And if it's not happening, sweetheart, speak out. Let's help you. Don't die in silence. We can help you anonymously. There's no shame in it. It's not your fault. You have not done anything wrong. If you are the one that is being abused, and even if you are an abuser, it still might not be your fault. It might just be the life that you know. That's how your father treated your mom, or that is how you think women should be treated. Come and learn. You will be taught the right way. And by the grace of God, your marriage can still be intact. So this is not a platform to throw away marriages. We believe it can be mended. That is why the name is Mend Fences. All fences can be mended if we are ready to do the work that it takes to mend it. Anyways, thank you so much for your time, my darling co-host. Everybody's face is like this now. I like, should I give you for the man's address?
please don't do that.
Let's try to smile. Let's try to smile. There are a lot of people going through a lot out there, and that's why we have platforms like this to help as many as we can help. Please reach out. Like I said, I'm repeating it again. Speak out. Don't die in silence. All right, we're going to come again next week, 6 p.m. on Sunday. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our page on Facebook so you get notifications when we are live and you don't miss any of our Sunday super tonic. Thank you very much, Dr. Sebo. Thank you. Titi Layo, thank you all for your time. I appreciate you. Thank you, everyone, for your comments. Those of you who came online, we appreciate you. And those of you who would also watch it after now, thank you so much. Please share, talk to someone. You could be saving a life. And until we come again next week, have a love-filled week, everyone. And Love Seat is on next week. We're bringing a super beautiful couple. Let's talk about love. Let's talk about good things. And let's talk about how marriages can be beautiful. I love you all. Have a blessed week, everyone.